What up,
Hey.
Sam? How you doing, my man?
Good, buddy. Believe it or not, this may be our last show. This may be our last
It
show.
could be. It could be. It could be because we were saying that we're going to do Believe It or Not series for for the month of October. So
Right.
I'm okay to go in for the rest of this month, no problem, and we'll see what the comments say. If they want us to keep on going, we got a really interesting episode today. We've got a special guest, and we're going to put him on shortly. But yes, we'll talk about whether or not we continue on. I was thinking maybe, summer's coming here and maybe getting a bit of a break and then coming recharged and fresh. We're up to how many episodes? 32 or 33?
I think this is 32, buddy.
Very good. All right.
Yeah.
So let me do the intro and the formalities. This is the change room. This is Mindful Chats for the Game of Life. I'm your host, Rash, and with my special friend, co-host from Dubai with the Canadian accent, Mr. Sameed. Yeah. How's the weekend, dude? All good?
Weekend's good, but before we continue, listen, I noticed that your picture is going a little bit slow. I'm not sure if the viewers can see the same thing, but it's maybe your connection or maybe even mine. I don't know.
No, my internet's been playing up, so I don't know what the hell's going on. I can connect to the phone internet, which will go really fast and won't be a problem after we put in the guest.
Right.
Shall we just say who we got coming on? I mean,
Not yet. We've got a very interesting gentleman that's going to join us, and we're going to do a nice hypnosis session with him. So please tune in as we get into that kind of frame of mind, so to speak. But this is our 32nd episode. I'm actually quite happy that we've managed to actually get this far, which is amazing. And we've had some really pretty good chats, to be honest. We talked about a whole bunch of stuff, like from psychology to behavior, on the team, the performance of the team, the results of the team. Of course, didn't have the best year, but we sure learned a lot, I hope,
That's good. Look, I think there's some people that are our regulars that will probably know who the next guest is going to be. I think they do know because we've been pumping it up for a couple of weeks. So we'll introduce you. But let's talk about Believe It or Not. There's a comment here I have to put from Enzo Valentino. It's a good one. You want to read that out?
What does that say? Hypnotize him into a Collingwood support. Oh, I don't know if that's possible, to be honest. Because when you're a diehard fan and it goes into your bones, that makes it very tricky.
Well, let's give him a bit of a pre-frame before we get in our guest. Okay, let's tell a little bit about hypnosis, and this is a really good start because hypnotizing our next guest to become a Collingwood supporter. Let's just explain the way hypnosis works. You will never, so we can't ever hypnotize someone to go and rob a bank if they will rob a bank. All right. So anything that's against your values and against, but we might try it with our friend, but anything that's against your values, you won't do. So when you see someone that's dancing like a chicken and they say, oh, I got hypnotized dancing like a chicken, they'll do that in a couple of drinks. Okay. So the person will never do it, won't do it. So there's different things. That's one. And then maybe, Sam, tell them about how we're always, 60, 70% of the time we're in the state of hypnosis. Now that you're watching us, you're in a state of hypnosis. So maybe give that explanation, like the game and stuff like that.
Right. I mean, listen, hypnosis is happening. Yeah. Hypnosis is happening pretty much all day, every day. And the way we know that is because it's where you put your attention. Wherever you're really focused, maybe watching a nice movie, listening to a song that you like, you're in what's called perhaps an alpha state or a light alpha state of hypnosis where the brainwaves basically slow down. It's that relaxing state. It's that focused or flow state is what a lot of people in sports or even music say that happens to them. So it's really a naturally occurring phenomenon. It happens to everyone. The only difference is, are you in a positive flow state or positive hallucination, or are you in negative hallucination? So everything really looks differently when you're in a good mood, especially when you've made a lot of money, maybe something went through that you never thought, you felt super happy with it, and all of a sudden the world was different. You met your partner, you met a partner and then looked at her and said, oh my God, like the world is beautiful again, or something like that. That's really how we see life, through the lens of how we see the world, our perspective. And so that's another form of hypnosis. It's just a process. Some people call it trance. Some people call it other than conscious, right? Because you're unconscious. So you're in that flow state. And there's many different depths to that state. And so we want to show something here today to
believe it or not.
See it, yeah. Believe it or not.
It's our topic for today. And actually it's our topic for the month, if we continue on. I'm interested to see what people think, if they should. You know, I haven't been feeling enough love to think whether or not, you know, because it's the end of the season and people go on holidays and stuff like that. But you know, I'm happy to go to the end of the month and see how we go, Sam. The other thing is what should our viewers expect from? So can I let the cat out of the bag, right? Let me let the cat out of the bag, because we're going to get him to come in shortly. So we're going to get Rocco on. Okay, he's in the back room. So what can we expect? What you've sort of like explained what hypnosis is. I don't want anyone to think, oh my God, this guy, we're going to change his name. It could happen. It could happen. But I think what you explain what you're trying to get out of this for Rocco to experience is the main thing.
Really? Well, the idea is really, it's just to experience a part of you, which is pretty not, that much different than he's experienced before. It's that state when you're probably watching the game, with the team playing, and you're so absorbed into that game, it almost feels like time has either stopped or slowed down completely. We call that time distortion, where everything kind of, either slows down or speeds up again. And so that's just basically how we process, the things that we're focusing on, right? Good, bad, or ugly. So the name of our show today was like, we were thinking, it's like, what should we call it? A lot of people believe in hypnosis. Some people don't. And, whatever it is you choose, you're right. Like, it's not like we're trying to prove something to you. It's just a naturally occurring, scientific, proven modality, if you want to call it that. But that's what we're doing. So when we invite,
it's education.
When we invite Rocco on the show right now, we're just going to go through a generative process. Really, it's very simple, straightforward, and perhaps maybe give him an experience. I don't know. It really depends on him whether he wants to accept that or not. Really, it's not something that should be forced. It's just something that anyone can do, really. And this could apply to your health. It could apply to your relationships. It could apply to performance, the team, maybe people watching who want to see and wonder whether people can play better, can produce better things or better outcomes. And that's really the purpose behind it, really. So you don't have to believe it, but that's where we are. So let's invite Rocco into.
We will. Here from Bubblehead, and he says, would it affect Rocco's ability to drive trains? So yeah, I don't think it will. And there's another one here from Frank. Big hello to Frank. My wife's brother got hypnotized to stop smoking, and he actually stopped smoking. It does work, guys. I'm telling you, we've done it.
Not all the time. Yeah, but not all the time. I mean, to Frank's response, it does work. I mean, we believe that, both myself and Rash, but we're not here to say like, has to work or must work. It's not something that's done by force. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you cannot hypnotize someone against their will. You could probably go so far as influencing them or trying to persuade them to do something, but it's not like some hocus pocus stuff. This is scientifically proven. That's the way we retain information. That's what happens when we focus on something. Especially.
Let me get him in. Let me bring him in, brother.
Go.
Rock, look at you, man. You feel like you're hypnotized in the green room there. We did a bit of magic there for you.
Listening to you guys, I feel very, relaxed at the moment. So I'm hypnotized every week with you guys.
Very good.
Awesome.
All right.
So we started right now. We started just a few minutes before we went live. Went through just a couple of suggestibility tests, really, and Rocco scored 10 out of 10. Really, just went through the motions and it just worked. So we're gonna continue that process and jump right into it, shall we?
100%. I'm ready to go. I'm ready.
Yeah.
What are you waiting for, Raj?
I'm just going to say my internet's playing up, Sam. So I'm just going to connect. So if I'm off for a second,
yeah. Rocco, you can hear me and see me clearly, right?
I can hear you and see you 100%. And you're like, your vision, I don't know what's going on with Rash, man. That's pretty like poor. Come on, mate. Get some better internet, mate. He's like this big producer from Dubai and that, and his internet is like worth $2. Come on, mate.
Yeah, exactly. Where is he?
Oh, I'm back on.
Yeah,
I'm back on.
He's still
the picture. Yeah, the picture's still a little bit.
Oh, that's it. That's that. Look, now we've got the A team up the top. That's better.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
All right.
Cool.
Yeah, okay. I hope so.
Okay, great. So let's get into this right now. We finished our pre-talk. So Rocco, just like we said before, in case anything glitches, the screen, the internet, something stops, then you're just gonna re-emerge or awake out of this perfectly fine, perfectly healthy, perfectly happy. So there's no problem there, right? So let's begin. What I want you to do, Rocco, by the way, for everyone watching here, just for this moment, if you're actually traveling, like driving a car or operating any heavy machinery, then don't watch this. I'm serious. Like, stop watching or listening to this. If you are seated and in a safe space, then go right ahead. You're most welcome. But for this purpose right now, at least for the next maybe 5 minutes, maybe a little bit longer, then we're gonna do this right now. So what I want you to do, Rocco, is I want you to stare and choose one dot above your eye line. Like, look at something a little bit higher. Maybe there's a dot. Just focus. I want you to focus on it. Okay, and just breathe normally. Just breathe normally, in and out through your nose, out through your mouth. And just keep breathing. And while you're doing this, I want you to separate your hands, keep your feet flat on the floor. And as you're focusing on that dot, okay, I want you to really, really focus. And I want you to focus so closely, so intently, that you may begin to notice that your eyelids become a little bit heavier and heavier. And as you focus, just allow those eyelids that are becoming heavier and heavier begin to close when they want to close. Heavier and heavier. The more you focus, the more those eyelids just want to close. Just allow yourself to feel what you feel. Keep focusing. And just feel those eyelids becoming heavier. Just imagine those eyelids just becoming heavier and heavier, just wanting to close. That's right. And those eyelids, let them close now. Good. And as you go deeper into this state, just notice your breathing, regulating inwards and outwards, inhale and exhale. And I want you to enjoy and scan that every part of your body, from the top of your head all the way down to the tips of your toes, scanning your body, the muscles, the joints. Just feel what it feels like, that everything is working, functioning absolutely fine. You begin to focus on the sound of my voice and my voice only. Any other sounds that happen around you or during this episode will only make you go deeper now. And as you go deeper, scanning every part of your body, I want you to nod your head that you're still listening to show me that you understand. Good. And as you go deeper, I want you to take your conscious awareness down into your right big toe. And now I want you to go to your tummy area, your stomach. Focus your attention there. And I want you to allow any and all of those muscles around your stomach to relax now. Make your way up to your chest, your shoulders. Notice those shoulders are just relaxing even more now. Those arms, elbows, hands, just relaxing. And as you focus on the sound of my voice guiding you to relax every part of your body, I want you to connect to that part of you and take the first response from your subconscious mind, where all the real changes can happen. I want you to point to where you feel it in your body, first response. Good. And when I want you to go there, place your attention on that place there in the center. And I want you to just feel better for no good reason. And I want you to trust your unconscious mind to make you feel better for no good reason. Your unconscious mind has a memory of feeling good. I want you to go there now. First response, take the memory and really immerse yourself into that experience of feeling good. Maybe it's when you're at a party. Maybe it's when your team won, the Carlton team won and you felt ecstatic. Maybe it was a compliment that someone gave you. Anything. And when you know you've got it, I want you to nod your head. Good. And now what I want you to do, Rocco, is expand that feeling. Just expand it. Use both of your hands if you need to outside of you to expand that feeling. Like really amplify it. 10 times more, 20 times more. Make it bigger. And place it over your body like a blanket where it's filling you and consuming your entire body. That's right. There you go. And I want you to cover your entire body like a blanket where you're immersed into that experience. And I want that smile to grow even more. I mean, really grow. That's right. And when you know, you think you've got it, I want you to make it even more. I mean, really more. Like, this is amazing. That's right. And I want that smile to grow. And I want you to feel amazing about that experience in every way possible. Like every way. Notice that your heart probably beating differently because you're excited, because you're enjoying this moment. And while you're doing it, I want you to amplify it even more. Let it fill the room. Let it fill your entire house. Completely. And when you know it's consumed your entire body, just nod your head. Good. Great. And now that you're in that experience, that flow state, that feeling that anything is possible, I want you to focus on the things that you could get better at now, like becoming a better listener, a better communicator, and just generally feeling happy about yourself. To give people, both yourself and those around you, a proper experience. On what it feels to become a better communicator. See yourself, feel yourself talking to people, and then listening to them intently for their responses, for their feedback, knowing that you've given them a proper experience, allowing people to share their thoughts, their dreams, their ambitions, and of course, allowing yourself to communicate effectively to other people. Just feel that experience and notice what you notice as you move and walk and talk, as you listen. People are looking back at you. That experience of what it feels like to know that you were part of this. You've contributed to both yourself and to others around you, creating a happy, more vibrant experience where you know that you've done your part. And when you experience that completely, I want that to expand. As I speak to your unconscious mind, allow your unconscious to expand that feeling, that knowing, that learning in every direction. So next time you speak to someone, you give them enough time to listen. You give them enough time to allow them this proper experience, knowing that you're in control, knowing that you're happier this way. And when you know you've got it, and I mean you've really got it, nod your head. Good. And I want you to feel it in every cell of your body, every muscle, every bone, from the top of your head all the way down to the tips of your toes. Feeling great in every way that you're in control. You've always been in control. Perhaps sometimes you didn't know you were, but now you do. Knowing what it feels like that you're in control. Because ultimately, we can only control ourselves. And when you know you have that control, and you always had that control, you can do much greater things. You can decide quickly. You can feel better for no reason at all. You could speak your mind. You can allow people to share their perspectives and thoughts. You can actually do and decide and feel any way you want, whenever you want, anywhere you want. And when you feel that wave, that energy, I want you to expand it. I want you to amplify it 10 times, 20 times more. Just really expanding, filling up the room around you. It's almost like this spotlight, this beam of light emanating from you, filling your entire room, your house, and everyone you interact with. Just feeling that coming into your power, really enjoying everything, and knowing that when you decide to do something, you'll do it. Knowing that whatever it is you choose, from great health to safety for yourself and your loved ones, and everyone you come in contact with, is there. Just allow yourself that experience. And as you join us on this journey, in the change room, where change really happens, you begin to notice that this show was part of your contribution, because that's where change happens, just like it's happening now. And while change can happen, a little bit or a lot, I want you to amplify it. You choose. You're the controller. I want you to feel what it feels like, where you can attract better results, where you can attract better people into your life, where you can grow and become as successful as you want. It's almost like turning up the dial of a radio or a TV. The more you turn it up, the more amplified it gets. And you're in control. And when you know you've got that, nod your head. Good. Now I want you to feel that in your entire body, in your cells, in your muscles. And I want to give you something for being a guest on our show, for allowing us and contributing to the change room. I want you to feel happy and remember that happiness is something that you created, you decided. All you're doing is simply following instructions. And now knowing that you too can access that place of happiness, of good health, of becoming a better listener and a better communicator. These are the core things that you want to become moving forward. When you come back to conscious awareness, things will feel different. Things will look different. You begin to look at myself and Rash and say, wow, what a trip. And this is something that you've chosen, you've decided. We call it trance or we call it hypnosis, call it whatever you like. But this is your experience. And we're simply characters in your movie. And when you enjoy this experience, come back with the knowledge that you have, the experience, and tell everyone about what it feels like to be in control, to be in command of your life, where you can grow and others can grow with you. It's always a win-win situation. And when you know you've got that, take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And just allow that to come over you like a wave. That wave of energy, that wave of confidence, that wave of control, where it just feels good for no reason at all, but simply because you decided. I want you to enjoy that. This is the access. This is the place where you can make real change. And now that you're in the change room, that's what we bring to our viewers, those listening that have kindly joined us every week to tune in, to cheer for us, to learn from us, to use some of these techniques and apply it in their own life. For those listening, we share value. And that value is the same value that I give to you, Rocco. You've learned the skill, you've done the drill. And you're in that experience that I want you to remember from now and until the future. Taking that learning, coming back. As I count back from or up to from 1 to 5, 5 you'll emerge. Coming back with a new understanding, a new learning. Starting from 1, then 2, because this is for you. 3, slowly coming back into conscious awareness, feeling your body, coming back into the room, feeling the temperature. 4, then 5, slowly opening your eyes, coming back to conscious awareness, eyes wide awake. Welcome back.
You know, I've never ever seen Rocco that quiet, ever. And I'm sure the comments will say the same.
That's true. I felt pretty relaxed. What I noticed was especially your voice. I noticed your voice. So it got to a stage where that's all there was, just your voice. I didn't feel anything else. I could just hear you, and I could have been anywhere, you know, and I was in that place where you told me to imagine. So I was in that place, and that's what I kept imagining. And then I just heard your voice. I just heard your voice, and then just listening to your instructions. That's all. Nothing else mattered around me. So yeah, it was a unique experience there. I feel pretty relaxed now.
Good. So would you call yourself a better communicator and a better listener? How do you feel about that?
I think I will work towards that. Yeah, I think I will work towards that. Definitely. I think you put it in my head. You tell me. Yeah, I'm definitely
You're
relaxed
so
now.
relaxed, man. I love the. I've watched hundreds of hours of watching you. I've never seen you like this ever.
Yeah, well,
Comments, please.
I revved myself up to get into this state. So I did say that I was willing to get into this state, and yeah, and it definitely relaxes you. So everyone I'm not putting this on. I'm actually like in a relaxed mode now. Definitely, like just
chilled out.
Spit it out. Listen, there's a comment here from Andy. Your co-host is saying, "Is Rocco going to be okay for Tuesday night?"
Oh, yeah, well, maybe this will be for Tuesday night. That's it. It's part of Tuesday night. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah, definitely much more relaxed. Yeah, he did look relaxed. No, I did look relaxed. I'm telling you, I was in this state where it's weird because I was in this state where if you let yourself go, and just listen to whoever's talking to you, you do get into this zone where all it is just you and the voice, pretty much. That's all it was. You and the voice that was coming into my head. Yeah. Enzo is so relaxed. It's scary. Yeah. Take it easy. You know what they say about people who are quiet and relaxed? You got to watch out for those people. Rocco is speaking with a karma. Yeah, maybe I'm being enlightened. Is that the word, enlightened?
Yeah. I reckon we got to get your co-host on too, Andy. I reckon we got to get him for a sesh.
Oh, he'd be into it. I reckon he'd be into it. He'd be into it full time. Yeah, for sure. Andy would be.
Try something with him, Sam. If he wants to jump on, why not? Do it on the cuff.
Yeah, Andy would definitely be a person who could do it. Here he is. Oh, here he is, Andy. There he is.
I've never ever seen Rocco like this. This is
I was just gonna say, Rocco, you're talking like I've spoken to you quite a few times at least, but you're talking slowly and you're kind of like taking your time.
Yeah, definitely taking my time. Yeah. Definitely like just listening and just seeing what's coming next.
You enjoyed the experience.
It's a good feeling.
It's a fucking great feeling.
Well, I think it is a good. I'm down one day. Yeah, Andy will be down for.
I reckon if he's ballsy, we're going to get him on now if he wants to jump on.
He's probably working.
Okay. Yeah,
Andy works until about 8 o'clock at night. So he's got his bottle shop down at Pascoe Vale, Bottle O. Make sure you go and see him. I'm not that hypnotized. I still remember how to plug things. So go down and see Andy. Sounds like the old days. It sounds like the old days, when I used to smoke some stuff and just sit back and relax. maybe that was my subconscious trying to get back to those days where I was just nice and relaxed, and just enjoying the things around me. Yeah, I think that's what it's all about.
Well, I think also let's just say you're under less stress with the Blues finishing up for the season. So
I think with the stresses of life, that definitely affects the way you act during the day and that. So if you can take away those stresses, yeah, definitely, I think that would help. Yeah, 100%. The Blues, work, family, everything there, the stresses every day. Yeah, so you're trying to mitigate those stresses.
That's really the process, though, Rocco. As you experience, you just got a small taste of that experience. But what that is we're so busy in our conscious waking state that we get distracted by so many different things, and that starts to trigger those emotions, right? So when those emotions kick in, all of a sudden you're in a different trance. We call it either an anger trance or a sad trance or a happy trance, whatever that is. But you're in that place. That's why I said, when you've experienced something so good, like maybe winning some money, gaining some money, whatever it is, like that experience, a birthday, a wedding, whatever it is, during that time, we're in that place of a trance where the world looks pretty again. like
Yep.
everything looks good again. But the moment that you're in a, like a shitty state or something negative, all of a sudden the world looks different, And so
Yep.
that's really it. It works on a bunch of stuff, from health to partnerships to relationships to
100%. And it's true about your like if you're in a good state or something's good, especially I'll give you one. It's like when you fall in love or when you love something, when you fall in love, like all of a sudden, the trees look nicer and the music sounds nicer and the foods taste better, amazingly, and I think love does it the most for you. And then all of a sudden, the same food you've been eating, we will get Rash on Unfiltered. We'll be talking. We talked a lot about Pink Floyd and that last night, which is a big coincidence. We talked about Pink Floyd last night, and now you get me stoned tonight.
2 nights ago. 2 nights ago, not last.
Was it 2 nights ago? Yeah. Well, that's how good it was. It felt like last night, but. Yeah, so the same food or the same experiences you've been having day in, day out, all of a sudden seem a little bit nicer, and so that's got to come down to something in your brain, like because you're eating and you're doing exactly the same thing. So how can it taste better, or how can it feel better, or how can the sunset look nicer? So definitely something that's in the subconscious there.
That's really it. To be honest with you, Rocco, to answer you on that very last thing you just said, we call it like the pharmacology of our subconscious mind is creating those chemicals. It's a complete pharmacy, bro. It's creating those chemicals from a subconscious level. That's so quick. That's why we have a surge when we, come encounter with love, and like they say, love is blind. It makes you don't see anything else. It's like, man, I just see that, that person in front of me, and it makes life worth living again, So it really is something, that we tend to use along with NLP to help people. And there was another comment here from Frank where he said, let me just put it on the screen. For people being hypnotized to remember something about their exactly. So remembering something from your young age could be a life regression, or a regression to cause is what we call it, to go back into your, the recesses of your unconscious mind. And your unconscious mind actually records everything to a detail, right? It records everything. So the moment you think back to a time, you were hurt, or someone said something, or you got embarrassed, or those, traumatic, situations where you were affected or impacted, your unconscious mind will bring those up so quickly because it's created an analog marker in your timeline that you just go back there quickly. And now imagine doing that for something so positive. Imagine where you want to, that's why I said, how does it feel like the last time you felt good for no reason? And I'm sure your mind took you to that place, wherever, first response, where you just felt, whoa, where'd that come from? And
was
so that's
the 1995 grand final, Rocco? Was it 95? Did that come up at all?
I think a few other things happened after that, but there've been a few other things after that. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's good. Well, here's the thing. I guess you didn't know what to expect, right? And this is the point of it. And I don't think Sam wanted to get your hand stuck to the table or forget your name and stuff like that. I think this is the best way for you to experience it. Now that you've experienced it, it's up to you of where you want to take it. Isn't that right, Sam? Like, maybe you can explain.
We could. I mean, let's just check something. Actually, you wanna have some fun, Rocco, with this?
I'll try.
Oh, listen. All you have to do, buddy, is just listen, imagine, and just do it. Just imagine it. Okay. What I want you to do is rub both of your hands together. Okay. Nice and hot, nice and hot, nice and hot. Make them nice and hot. Right. Now, what I want you to do is take your right hand quickly and just put it on your head. Just really grab your head. Exactly. What I want you to imagine, Rocco, that your hand now is filled with super glue. That really strong glue. And I want you to imagine, just imagine, close your eyes if that makes things happen even quicker. That's right. And as you put your hand on top, feel what it feels like with that hand on the top of your head, but it has super glue underneath it. And you know what they say with super glue, the longer you keep it on, the more it sticks. And I want you to amplify that stick, like really, really amplify it. Imagine, only imagine, using the power of your mind where you could do that. I want you to stick it on your head and feel that stick growing 20 times more, 50 times more, even 100 times more. Imagine that, to the point where it gets stuck where you can't remove it. Okay? And the more you try, the more it gets stuck. That's right. The more you try to remove it from your head, the more it gets stuck. And as you imagine that hand completely and utterly stuck, open your eyes. Good. Now, what I want you to do, Rocco, is notice your hand over here stuck on your head. I want you to try to unstick it and notice that it sticks even more. I mean, even more. The more you try to unstick it, the more it sticks even more. Funny phenomenon, isn't it? Using the power of your mind. Go ahead. Try to unstick it and notice it sticks even more.
Coming off, yeah, but
Love it off. All right.
I did get that sensation where your hand is stuck to your head, you know, and then it started to go through my arm, you know, like I was trying to pull it off. So
yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. Now let's do something else right now. We call this stacking, okay? Just for the moment, I want you to imagine a hallucination, okay? I know you've got Rash here. You can see his video box. You can see him. I want you to imagine, just focus on me and you only, using your periphery, okay? And I want you to slowly just imagine that Rash has disappeared completely from the screen. Rash has disappeared. Just imagine that, okay? Follow me on this. Just imagine he's completely disappeared. And as he's disappeared, completely, nod your head when you feel that he's completely disappeared. So you're focusing on me.
No, you've taken him away. Don't do that, right?
Anyways, did you feel at some point in time that happened? Sorry?
I could still see him. I don't know if I was doing that right. I could still definitely see him.
Yeah.
That's
no,
okay.
Listen, these are old party tricks, you know. Sometimes when you're in that zone, you can produce some phenomenon.
I think Rash stuffed that one up because you kept like taking you out. So yeah.
I was being cheeky. Yeah,
you're being cheeky. Right? Didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
Rock, I'm not sure I like the new you, to be honest.
Oh, don't worry. Don't worry, mate. Just put me in the car for 2 minutes of driving to work, and the old Rock will come back. Don't you worry. So, I think, no. Look, people have said that I'm not the same Rocco as I was 4 or 5 years ago. So hopefully I'm changed, and hopefully this makes me even better. As I think that's what we all want to do. We all just want to get better in certain areas of our life. I think that's all we want to do. I think no one wants to be who they were 5 years ago or 10 years ago. Nobody.
Right, because we're learning, we're growing, like we're
evolving. Well, I think that's the end result. I think you want to learn and you want to grow, and if you don't, well, we can't help you, can't we?
Yeah, exactly. It's a choice and a decision. So, anyways, listen, guys, we're up at almost 45 minutes, which was
thanks, Rocco.
Joining. That's super cool.
No drama. That was
yeah.
No, that was really good. And to the audience, thanks for joining, first of all. But yeah, I wasn't putting that on. I was so that wasn't a put on. I was willing at the start to do this. So I said, I remember years ago, Rash wanted to do it to me, and he couldn't do anything to me. But immediately in my head, I was already saying, "There's no chance he'll do it. There's no chance he'll do it. There's no." And remember, Rash, there was nothing he could do to me, and I would just sit there going, "Nah, this is rubbish," you know. But this time, I put myself, I let myself let myself do this. I don't know how to say this. I let myself do this. I put myself in your hands, and I thought, right, I'm just going to. I think if you're right, I think everyone. Sometimes when you think about hypnosis, what you're thinking about is the bloke acting like a chicken, or that's you always go to that extreme, and you go, there's no way I could act like a chicken or whatever, So it's always the most extreme thing, But this was a form of, like slide hypnosis where you can get yourself into a state, and it's almost like, would I say it's almost like when you do some what do you call it when you do the what's that called when you bloody when you go in, when you do some breathing and that, what's that called? Like
meditation.
Meditation. Sorry, you put me in that much of a state I can't speak anymore. It's a state of meditation. It's a state of meditation. So if you can get yourself into that zone and just pretty much take everything away that's external and just keep it to like just your voice, or when it's meditation, it could be a humming noise or something. And I think that's when your mind starts to like open up and work. I think that's what I got out of it.
That's exactly the point, Rocco. And for people listening, the biggest takeaway is focus on what you want to have happen, something that will add value to your life, growth, health, love, whatever it is that you choose, but focus in on that. And the byproduct does have the potential to grow and to actually make it happen. Really, that's what, the biggest major takeaway is. That's what we called the show today. Believe it or not, hypnosis is already happening. It's always there. You cannot not have it. You know what I mean? It's not. It's always around. It's always present. And I teach this to people because for those that actually learned it and trained in it, and for those who don't know it, people are already doing it on them, and they don't even know it.
Yep, no, and that's true. And if people don't want to believe it, and if they think they've never been in a state of hypnosis, I'll tell you a state that everyone's been in. Have you ever driven your car and got to the destination and couldn't remember the drive? I do that in the car, and I think we all do it. And like I'll tell you, I'll do it in the train too. Like a lot of times I'll get to the destination, I can't remember opening the doors or closing them through every station. I hope so, because I'm not getting any emergency calls, so it means I've done the right thing. But yeah, so you get through, and you'll get there, and you can't remember doing it. So that has to be a state of hypnosis, isn't it, Sam?
100%. And I thank you for actually making that statement. That's exactly what it is. And your unconscious mind knows how to do that perfectly. So don't interrupt it. That's why you've done this for years, I'm sure. You've got so skilled at it that your unconscious learned it. But having said that, believe it or not, it actually has a lot to do with people being angry. They're become so used to it that their unconscious mind just lets the program run. They become angry almost every day. So that's why we're pretty bullish on talking about these things, because do you know what you're doing? Do you know this is happening to you? And that's why it's so good. So I really thank you for sharing that example. That's exactly what it is. And allow your unconscious mind to do your job. Allow your unconscious mind to do its job. Just feed it the right food. Feed it the right messages.
Yeah.
And you know what, Rocco? When you think about it, how many football games have we been to? And I mean, I could give you one for the audience also. That time in 2022 when we played against Collingwood, that last game. And for me, it's a different type of hypnosis, but it's a blur for me. All I remember is the end and feeling so shit and going, what the hell was that?
Well, you're pretty much focused on one thing, so you're focused on the game in front of you, and anything could be happening around you. You wouldn't notice. You're just focused. And I suppose playing the game of footy or playing in any sport would be the same thing. We've talked to players, and they say that they can't hear the crowd. 100,000 people, they don't hear it, or they're so focused on the ball that they don't hear the crowd. That's got to be a form of hypnosis too. They're hypnotized into that one little thing. So what I've learned out of today, if you can put all your energies into like and focus it onto one thing, well, there you go. There's your hypnosis, and there's your way. It's like wearing some sunglasses, and if there's a speck in your glasses, all you see is a speck. But if you look past that speck, the speck disappears. So if you can focus on one thing, well, there it is, man. That's where your growth is.
Man, Rocco, you're seriously impressing me with your feedback today. I really mean it. You're actually that's like the perfect student. You're actually the perfect student. Like, this was exactly, believe it or not, what we want people to actually get a takeaway from, and the messages that you've said perfectly.
I love the new Rocco, and the new Rocco from first seeing him on the fan cams, and now he's become a bit more zen-like. Yeah, he's become zen-like, and everyone that watches, you're not as, maybe because Carlton's getting better, but you're not as angry. You're okay these days. It's good.
No, look, I've learned, and going through those experiences, I get to this stage of my life now in the last 5 or 6 years. In actual fact, the last 7 or 8 years have been a big change in my life. But in the last 5 or 6 years, especially watching yourself, when you watch yourself, you start to learn, and you start to skate. Why am I doing that? Or I shouldn't be acting like that, or maybe I should do this more, so that kind of helps a little bit. But yeah, from the last 12 years, of course, man, if I was the same person from 5 years ago, well, there's something wrong. There's something wrong.
Do you think that's got to do with, sorry, we're interviewing you here, and this is the last question, because we're gonna wrap up, as they say. Do you think Tan has had something to do with your change?
Yeah, my girlfriend, definitely the change with my girlfriend coming into my life, as definitely, she puts a different perspective in life. She's very she believed in a lot of like mystical stuff and that, so she kind of puts this perspective in my life, and I see things a different way. And sometimes that's all you need to do. You need to have a look at it through someone else's eyes. Sometimes, you're so focused on your stuff. Yeah, so definitely, and that's, I've known Tom for about 8 years, so there you go. You've kind of like solved the puzzle there, Rash. Yeah, so yeah.
Rocco, thanks for joining us today. I really, really appreciate it. I love this new frequency zone, Rocco. Really, it's been a pleasure. I know that you always wanted to try it, and I'm happy you did it, and it's a great experience for you.
No, this is good. And before I go, just thank everyone for joining. And you guys have been great. I don't know. I know you're working out what you're going to do, but regardless of what you do next week, or if you have a break and you come back next week, the show has been fantastic. One of my favorite shows on the channel, man. So just keep doing what you're doing, and and we'll just keep plowing ahead, mate.
Can you plug your show on Tuesday also? Tell us about that.
There's a new show now, and Andy was on before. He was in the chat there. So me and Andy have got a show. And look, there's a little bit of inspiration from your show, if you believe it or not. Just having a chat and talking. So we do a lot of footy talk, but I like this sort of chat when people can just. I think that it's something that everyone's lacking. Just sitting down and chatting about stuff and airing it out and seeing where, and then we decided, let's do a show where we just sit down and we chat and we just talk about things. And so that's on Tuesdays at 9, called Unfiltered. So catch that. It was pretty much success the other night. Everyone got stuck into it. We had a good ball. We talked a lot about music. If you watched it, Rash, man, there was a lot about.
I did. I watched it.
Our favorite band, Pink Floyd, Pink Floyd was a big influence in my life, so we talked a lot about that and about movies and that. So if you got nothing to do, catch the Unfiltered on Tuesday and everything else, and straight after this, double with the young boys. They talk a bit of stuff. So there'll always be something. And in 2 weeks' time, if I can just show something, because I have got control here. It's the TJP 24-hour stream, the 19th and the 20th, 24 hours of live streaming, continuous. So if everyone will catch that. That's on the 19th. That's in 2 weekends' time, and we'll be on for 24 hours.
How are you going to do 24? Are you not going to sleep, or
I'm going to get Sam to hypnotize me so I can stay up for 24 hours. There you go, mate. So yeah, but we'll get everyone on. We'll get Rash. I'm sure you'll pop in at one stage in that 24 hours, and we'll sit back and we'll have a bit of a chat and we'll have a bit of fun. So that's something else. So hope everyone's enjoying the channel, and especially the change room. And seriously, great job, guys, man. Great job. The change room has definitely changed me over the time.
Get that snippet and put it as the promo. Love that. All right, great. Thanks, Rock. Well, we'll see you soon. I'm going to get you out of the chat, and then we're going to wrap up the show. But thanks again for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Love yous.
Ciao.
Cheers, buddy. Bye. Awesome.
Dude, there's a few comments I just want to go through before we close up. But wow, I mean, Rocco,
huh? One comment from Enzo. I just want to put it up and answer him. I'm not sure if he had his answer, but he was just saying if he's in a hypnotic state when he plays the organ and just knowing what to do without thinking. That's exactly a hypnotic state, Enzo. So yes, when you've learned it, your unconscious takes it as a learning. When you do it over and over again, you've learned the habit. The unconscious takes over, or the subconscious, and then off you go to the races. You just keep doing it over and over again. So 100%. Yeah.
Okay, there's one here from Peter V. Bobblehead Blue. He says, any chance you can come to Carlton and hypnotize Vossi and co?
Yep.
All right. Very good.
Tell me the time and date. Let's do it.
All right, cool. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the show today. It was a different type of show. And tell us your comments. I mean, you know, we do this show for our audience, and we are considering whether or not we should stop or not. You know, tell us what you think. Put some comments in there if you think that we should carry on. I mean, we're not a Carlton show. I always say that every week, but I mean, we hope that we add some different type of value into the Jumper Punch community and the Carlton community as such, right, with a little bit different, you know. My screen's just gone a bit funny.
Yeah. Cool stuff, man. You want to sign out? Thanks to everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. That's our 32nd episode. Can you believe it? So we may come back next Thursday. Maybe yes, maybe no. We'll see. Both myself and Rash are quite busy right now. We wanted to take a little bit of a break, but we're very happy to do this. We've enjoyed the journey so far. And, you know, we may continue as well. We don't know yet.
We might. Well, let us know in the comments. We're going to read the comments anyway after this. If you know, put a comment and tell us if, you know, you love this show and you want to watch us, then we might at least go to the end of October and see, because I would like a little bit of a break. But, yeah, I hope you get value out of it. All right. On that note, it's always a pleasure. Thank you, Sam, so much. The count of 3, as we always do. You count it.
1, 2, 3. Go Blues.
Go Blues. I got it.